Hey everybody, Ray here, and today I'm going to do a little product review. Those who watch my channel will know that I don't do very many product reviews. I only do a product review if number one, I find a product that I've had personal experience with and it's performed exceptionally well. And number two, it's a product that the company stands behind and they offer great customer service. Well, I have one of those products for you here today. It's the Grayl water filter purifier. It's not just a plain old water filter. It also purifies, which allows it to eliminate viruses and some other nasties in the water that you don't want to be drinking. Stay with me here. I'm going to give you several reasons why I think you ought to have one of these in your home. I personally own the 16.9 ounce Ultra Press, which is what this is right here that I bought for a gift for someone. It's 16.9 ounces capacity. It weighs 12.5 ounces. This, the GeoPress model, is larger. It's 24 ounces of capacity, but it weighs 15.9 ounces, so it's a slight bit heavier. Truth be told, if I had my option right now, I would probably go back and buy this unit instead of this unit because I like the fact that this gives you the extra water capacity. The titanium version actually comes in the same size as the Ultra Press, and it weighs 14.1 ounces. And it has some features that none of these offer, which I think are really cool. And what I did was I borrowed a bunch of clips out of their website so I can tell you a little bit more about the titanium version. The Grayl water filter is extremely easy to use. Let me give you a real-world example out in the field of how I used it recently. So how this works is you fill up the base here, and after that base is filled up to about this line right here, you just loosen the cap a little bit on the water filter and then push that down into the base, and it will start to filter the water and push it up into this portion of the unit, and that's the portion that you will drink out of because the filter has now pushed all the water down through the filter and up into this portion right here. And tastes great. Do you see how easy that was? You put the water in here, fill it up to this line, drop the inner portion in, squeeze it down, filtered water. It doesn't get any easier than that. And by the way, that clear water that came out of that pump I thought was just fine. And it was probably perfectly safe to drink. However, the next time I opened my Grayl and I looked inside, down in the bottom were a lot of pieces of little tiny gravel and debris that this filter took care of. I'm glad I had it. Now, not only is the Grayl water filter purifier really easy to use, but it is highly effective. Let me draw some examples. I have always carried in my pack a Life Straw and a Sawyer Mini water filter in case I got into an emergency. They remove 99.9% of bacteria, 99.99% of protozoa. That's a good thing. And there are a lot of people that use these on the Pacific Trail, the Appalachian Trail, long distance hikes where they want to minimize the weight that they're carrying. But frankly, I'm just not comfortable with that. I want maximum efficiency when I try to use a water filter. Well, the Grayl not only removes the bacteria and the protozoan cysts, but it also removes 99.99% of viruses, as well as absorbing many chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, and it even eliminates flavors and odors. Now the filter is located at the bottom of the inside container. This filter just simply screws off and then you can replace it with a new filter. The filter in a package unused will last for 10 years. Once you open it and you start to use that filter, it's good for 3 years or 300 presses. Now, of course, that 300 presses, if you're in water that's really heavily silted or something like that, may be less than 300 presses. Once the filter's used up, you can go to the website and buy another filter. Another great reason to have a Grayl water bottle is, what about the case of an emergency? Several times I've been out hiking and camping and wound up needing water because I've run out. Why do I run out? Because I often get lost. I hike with my friend Brian, who actually insists that we never get lost. We're just doing off-trail exploration. I'm willing to go with that. But you know what? If you wind up being out on the trail 2 hours longer than you expected, you may not have brought enough water. The last 2 times Brian and I went out for hikes, we wound up in that same situation and wound up using our Grayls and a water source. Here's a picture of one of them that we used, and it worked perfectly. It removed any signs of odor or silt. It was perfectly clear and it worked great. Another great use for these is when you travel. I don't know if you're familiar with traveling in Florida, but unless you're used to the water down there, it doesn't taste very good. Well, I'll tell you what, you run it out of the faucet and you run it through this water filter, it tastes like bottled water. It removes all the odor and it removes all the taste. Recently, I was just in La Jolla, California, at a really nice hotel. It doesn't matter how nice the hotel is. If the water stinks, the water stinks. And their water didn't taste good. We went through bottle after bottle of bottled water. If I'd have had one of these, I could have just filtered the water out of the faucet. Now, another great example is my daughter and son-in-law went to Portugal. I bought them each a Grayl water filter to take with them, and they said it worked great. They didn't like the flavor, and they didn't like the smell of the water out of the faucet. They just ran it through the Grayl water filter, and then they could refill their plastic water bottles and then take them out on their daily explorations. They were really happy to have them. So, travel, a good tool. So speaking about traveling and being able to use these to filter the water, I want to take you again to the La Jolla, California example that I gave. It was myself, my wife, my son-in-law, my daughter, and my granddaughter. The water was bad. We used a countless number of bottles of water while we were out there. Maybe 8 a day a piece. It was a lot of water that we had to keep going down to the lobby to get more bottles of. That is not good for our environment. I don't claim to be an environmentalist, but we should all be conscious of minimizing the waste that we put into our environment. So instead of having 8 bottles in a day, perhaps I could have had just 1 bottle that I would have refilled using my Grayl and then carried that with me. That's a whole lot less impact on our environment than all the bottles that we used, and I think that's important. So let's talk price for just a minute. The Ultra Press, as of the time that I'm shooting this video, lists for $89 if you don't get any discount. The Geo Press, the 24-ounce version, lists for $99. Not a big discrepancy between the two, but that's a lot of money for a water filter, right? Well, I would encourage you to think about the fact that you could actually save money if you travel very much at all by spending $89 on a water filter. I'm going to give you a great example. My wife and I just went to Dallas. When we got to the airport, I pulled out my Grayl. I went over to the water fountain, filled it up, filtered it out. I had my water now for the trip. My wife, who doesn't have a Grayl, wanted a bottle of water. So I went and bought her a bottle of water at the airport, $3.89. It's an awful lot of money for a bottle of water. On our return trip, the same thing. I filled my Grayl up at the fountain and filtered it. I went and got her a bottle of water, $4.99 for a bottle of water. I mean, give me a break. Now think about that. Between those 2 stops, I spent about 10% of what it would cost me to buy a Grayl. So how many trips does it take to pay for this? Not very many. So let's talk a little bit about the titanium version. The titanium version really is very much like the Ultra Press in that it has the capability to have 16.9 ounces of water filtered through it. It's a little bit heavier than the Ultra Press, but not very much. The other thing that it has is that it has handles on one side. Now, if you have handles and a titanium pot, which is impervious to fire, you could set that into a fire pit, or you could set that on a cooking stove, and now you can boil water in your filtration bottle. I think that's really kind of a unique thing. If you're a long-distance hiker and you wanted to be able to have your water filter and your cook system all contained into one unit, the titanium would be the unit to do that with. I think it's a great option. The other thing it has is it has a D-ring right here. What that D-ring would allow you to do is, say the water source that you need to get to is 4 feet down below or 10 feet down below. you could tie some cordage onto that D-ring, and then you would dangle it down like this till it hits the water, let it fill up with water, and then pull it back up, and you've got water from a source that is way below you. I thought that was a pretty smart addition to their design. It's expensive, it's $199, but it's titanium. Titanium is, like I said, is a really tough metal. Here's my Tokes cook pot. I use this all the time camping to heat water in and cook food in. This was $35 for this little 750 milliliter pot. So titanium is expensive. But you know what? Again, for a long distance kind of hiker that wants to have the utility of a water filter and a cook system all together, it's not that bad. It's a pretty neat option. Okay, I've given you a whole bunch of really good reasons why you should go out there and buy the Grayl. Now, I have one small complaint. The Ultra Press version, which is the one I have, when you take the cap off, it's separate from the bottle. On the Geo Press, when you take the cap off, it has a little strap that holds it to the bottle so you can't lose it. You know what? I'm the kind of guy that loses things, and I'll show you how I lost this one. I was at a pump at a campsite. The pump wouldn't work, but I had already loosened my cap in preparation to be able to push the plunger down and filter the water. When the pump wouldn't work, I thought, okay, that's fine. I know there's a water source on the trail. I threw my Grayl in my backpack. Well, while I was hiking with the loose cap, it apparently fell off. And when I got to the water source, I realized that I had lost my cap. So Grayl, put a strap on this thing on the Ultra Press for me, would you? So let me end this video on a positive note. Grayl has wonderful customer service. When you place your order, it is shipped promptly. If you have any questions, they answer them promptly. You send them an email, they will get back to you that day or the very next day. On my way back from my camping trip where I lost my cap, I sent them an email describing what had happened, arranged to get a new cap. They had it sent to me very quickly. In fact, I went camping again the very next weekend, and I already had my new cap. So kudos to Grayl for their great customer service. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, hey, leave me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it.